The geniusness of Messi, bro, is something that I will truly never understand. Pay attention to this play. So here Argentina, we're losing 1-0 with 5 minutes left on the clock. Lionel Messi gets the ball against JD Spence. At this point, any normal player would have simply put that cross in. Reason being is because you're in a 1v1 situation with JD Spence, but most importantly because you have around 7 players in the box. But what Messi does, bro, proves that this guy is always thinking 2 steps ahead. Because as you can clearly see in this position, Anderson was standing at the edge of the box. If Messi had decided to play that ball a little too early to his teammate who was standing right in that position, DePaul, or even to Enzo Fernández, then Anderson would have had an easier job to defend him. But you see, rather than crossing that ball or playing that ball back to DePaul or Fernández, what Messi does is he waits. He makes time. He takes that 1v1 against JD Spence. What that does in this instance is it forces Anderson to think that Messi wants to take on JD Vance on a 1v1 situation. And what that forces him to do is to close the gap and help out JD Vance. As soon as Messi cuts inside, Anderson has already provided JD Spence the assistance by closing in the gap. But what that has inevitably done is that it has left Fernández completely isolated. By the time that Messi had forced both players to defend him, Enzo Fernández is fully alone with so much time and space to hit that ball and place it at the back of the net. And this is perfectly what we see in this situation. He plays Enzo Fernández that ball, and Enzo Fernández, with the shot that he has, places it at the back of the net. It's 1-1 to Argentina. But it wouldn't stop there because Messi was again on another 2v1 situation as we typically saw in the match. Messi could have simply crossed that ball, but he noticed that Pickford was stepping out of his line. What that meant is that if Messi crossed the ball, it is very likely that Pickford would have simply handed that ball. Instead, what Messi does is that he cuts inside with his left foot, taking it onto his right foot. And right as he's about to cross that ball, if you look at the position of Pickford, he's forced Pickford to go back to his line, allowing him to put that ball into the box for one of his teammates. And what happens next is history. Lionel Messi puts a beautiful cross with his right foot, his weaker foot, for Lautaro Martínez to complete the comeback against England. It was a minute 75. Argentina were losing 1-0. England were sitting deep. England were defending stupendously. I thought that it was genuinely over for Messi and Argentina. I thought that it was impossible to come back in this game. But then, in that moment of disparity, I looked in front of me and I saw this, my rosary. And as I looked at this rosary, I remembered all the things that Argentina had gone through at this World Cup. I remembered all the witchcraft attempted against Messi and against Argentina. I also remembered all the deception and all the lies and all the agendas, all the things said about Messi, all the hatred. And as I reflected upon that, I also thought about the light. I also remembered all the moments where the Argentine players threw holy water at themselves and blessed themselves. I remembered all the beautiful comebacks. I remembered the rosary that Messi received. And I remembered especially the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary that Argentina has in their locker room. And as I reflected upon all of that in the minute 75, I thought to myself, is it really worth it to pray just one rosary? Just one rosary. Can that actually do something for this Argentinian national team? And I thought to myself, if Argentina are going to come back, it will only be by divine assistance, by God's hand, by God's help. So I grab my rosary and I start meditating on it. I start reflecting on today's mysteries, on the glorious mysteries. And as I'm praying there, I'm meditating on the resurrection of Christ. Can these players also resurrect? I'm meditating on the ascension of Christ. And I'm thinking, can these players also ascend and come back in this game? I'm meditating on the descent of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost. And I'm thinking to myself, can the Holy Spirit too descend on these players and complete the comeback? My brothers and sisters, 10 minutes later, by God's help, that is exactly what happened. By God's divine hand, Argentina resurrected in this match. By the assistance of the Blessed Virgin Mary, this team ascended. By the guidance of the Holy Spirit, the Spirit led this team to glory. And it was truly there where I understood that this entire World Cup campaign for Argentina has been a message from God. It was then where I understood that in spite of disparity, in spite of evil, in spite of fake agendas and lies and deception, trusting in God will always lead us to the light. That is the only story that I have seen, that I have experienced and lived with this Argentinian national team. And I genuinely believe that by the hand of God, Argentina are going to be playing another World Cup final. And if it is in His will to help them win another World Cup, may His will be done. Let's get something straight here. Messi doesn't need to win this World Cup. Messi didn't need to bring Argentina to these semifinals against England. Messi didn't even need to score one goal at this World Cup competition. The reason is because, contrary to the popular opinion, Messi has already beaten the system. Messi has already defeated the system. Believe it or not, though people have pushed a certain agenda against this Argentinian national team at this World Cup, the reality is that it is Argentina and Messi, the ones who have always had the system against them. From 2016, where Messi was being mocked and laughed, ridiculed for not winning Copa Americas, for not taking his team far in the competition, to having multiple countries from Brazil, from Uruguay, from Spain, from England, the Netherlands and Croatia, so many countries dislike Argentina because of their history. And let's be honest, this is just true. Lionel Messi and Argentina have always been against the system. And in spite of being against the system, Lionel Messi has once again taken his country to another World Cup final. That in spite of being against the system, Lionel Messi is currently giving Argentina a 42% chance on the Polymarket app of winning the FIFA World Cup. That in spite of being against the system, Messi has already touched hands with paradise. Messi has already won a World Cup in spite of being against the system. And that is truly the point of this video. Messi does not need to win a World Cup again. Why? Because he has already beaten the system that was built against him. This right here, bro, I think is the moment of the match. Lionel Messi, a 39-year-old player who's already won a World Cup, already won Champions Leagues, already created a legacy, already established himself as the greatest player to ever play the sport, to ever touch a ball. And after eliminating England in a World Cup semifinals, something that he didn't have to do, after carrying his team, something that again he didn't have to do, Lionel Messi, as soon as the referee blows that whistle, drops to the ground, celebrates, punching the air with his fist, and begins to cry. Not out of his own legacy, not of any individual achievement, but simply out of that badge, out of that nation that he loves so much. That mentality, bro, is something that I will genuinely and truly never understand about Messi. How this brother has already touched hands with paradise, but still celebrates in this manner after doing something that he didn't need to do again. I genuinely think that this mentality of Messi is one of the reasons why he cemented himself as the greatest of all time. It truly is a remarkable thing that the world has existed for billions upon billions of years, and we had the opportunity, the gift from God, to exist in the same era, in the same time frame as Lionel Messi.